Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be cracking open The Millionaire Next Door
Okay.
by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko.
Mm-hmm.
This book kind of flips the script on what it really means to be wealthy in America.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
When you picture a millionaire,
Mm-hmm.
what comes to mind?
Sure.
A sprawling mansion,
Mm-hmm.
designer, everything, you know, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
We'll get ready to have those assumptions challenged.
Okay.
Because we're about to uncover some surprising secrets about how most millionaires actually live.
It's interesting you mentioned those assumptions because this book isn't based on stereotypes.
Right.
Stanley and Danko dug deep, interviewing and surveying hundreds of millionaires
Wow.
to understand what sets them apart.
Okay.
And one of the biggest revelations is that most millionaires aren't living those lavish lifestyles we often imagine.
Right. They found that a whopping 80 to 85% of millionaires are self-made, meaning they built their fortunes through hard work and savvy financial decisions,
Yeah.
not through inheritance or lucky lottery tickets.
Yeah.
It's the classic American dream story, but with a twist.
Absolutely. And the book highlights this
Yeah.
with a really interesting anecdote about a millionaire woman.
Okay.
She's an engineer with a great income, but still chooses to live modestly, even ordering off the value menu.
Wow.
This really challenges the notion that millionaires are all about flaunting their wealth.
And that frugal mindset isn't just some quirky exception.
Right.
It's a key factor in their success.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into those habits,
Okay.
I'm curious,
Yeah.
how do we even define wealth?
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
being a millionaire is great and all,
Right.
but the book also introduces this intriguing wealth equation to measure if someone is considered wealthy for their age and income level.
You're right.
Yeah.
Having $1 million doesn't automatically mean you're wealthy in the sense that you've effectively accumulated assets over time.
Right? This is where the wealth equation comes in.
Okay.
Expected net worth equals 1/10 of your age multiplied by your income.
Okay.
Let's say you're 30 years old and earning $100,000 per year.
Mm-hmm.
According to the equation, your expected net worth should be around $300,000.
So if your net worth is significantly higher than that,
Right.
you'd be considered a prodigious accumulator of wealth, or a PAW,
Yes.
which is one of the key concepts from the book.
Mm-hmm.
But what about those who fall short of that benchmark?
Those individuals would be classified as under accumulators of wealth, or UAWs.
Okay.
And this distinction isn't just about numbers.
Right.
It delves into the mindset and habits that contribute to either accumulating or depleting wealth over time.
It's like the book gives us a framework to assess not just our financial standing, but also our approach to money.
Mm-hmm.
Are we building wealth systematically?
Yeah.
Or are we falling behind despite a decent income?
Right.
I can see why our listeners would find this valuable.
Absolutely.
And to illustrate this further,
Okay.
the book contrasts the behaviors of PAWs and UAWs
Mhm.
in a way that makes it easy to grasp.
Okay.
One example that stood out to me was how PAWs approach buying a car.
Oh, yeah, like Dr. North,
Yes.
the PAW who buys used cars and drives them for years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of what we might expect from someone who could easily afford a brand new luxury car every year.
He's playing the long game, not trying to impress the neighbors.
Right.
It's a great example of how those seemingly small choices can compound over time,
Yeah.
leading to significant financial advantages.
And this leads us to another crucial insight about PAWs.
Okay.
Their laser focus on planning and budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
They understand that building wealth isn't about luck or hitting the jackpot.
Right?
It's about having a system in place to manage their money effectively.
Yeah.
In fact, many PAWs actually hire professionals to help them with financial planning and budgeting.
So it's not just about being frugal, it's about being organized and proactive with your finances.
Right.
They treat their money like a business.
Yeah.
Which makes sense considering that a large percentage of millionaires are entrepreneurs or business owners.
Right.
But before we jump into that entrepreneurial side of things,
Okay.
I think it's worth exploring another key concept from the book,
Yeah.
the role of spouses in wealth building. Because the book suggests that having a frugal spouse can be a huge asset, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The authors even go so far as to say that a spendthrift spouse can sabotage your efforts to build wealth.
Wow.
No matter how disciplined you are personally.
Oh, okay.
They share this incredible anecdote about a millionaire's wife who continued clipping coupons even after her husband gifted her millions in stock.
That's wild.
It just goes to show how ingrained those frugal habits are for some PAWs.
It's like frugality becomes a part of their DNA.
Right.
It's not just a temporary strategy, it's a way of life.
Yeah.
And it seems like this mindset extends beyond just individual spending habits. The book also explores the impact of financial gifts from parents,
Right.
which they call economic outpatient care, or EOC.
Yes.
Let's dive into that next, because I have a feeling this is where things get really interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is one of the more counterintuitive findings in the book.
Okay.
You'd think that receiving substantial financial support from your parents would set you up for success.
Right.
But the authors argue that EOC can actually hinder financial independence for adult children.
It's a bit of a head scratcher at first, right?
Right.
You'd assume that getting a financial boost from your parents will put you ahead of the game. But how does that actually play out in real life?
Well, the book gives several examples of how EOC can create a cycle of dependence.
Okay.
You might have a couple both with decent jobs who are constantly struggling financially because they've become accustomed to a lifestyle subsidized by their parents.
Right.
They never really learn to live within their means or develop those crucial money management skills.
It's almost like they're stuck in a perpetual state of adolescence, financially speaking.
Right.
They never fully transition to financial adulthood because there's always that safety net.
Exactly. And this isn't just about failing to budget effectively.
Right.
EOC can also impact their mindset and career choices.
So, yeah.
If you know your parents are always there to bail you out, are you really gonna hustle as hard to get that promotion or take the risk of starting your own business?
So it's not just about the money itself.
Right.
It's about fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility for your own financial well-being, which makes me think about all those learner listeners out there who might be parents themselves.
Yeah.
If EOC can be so detrimental, what's the alternative? How can affluent parents support their children without creating that sense of dependence?
The book offers some compelling insights into raising financially responsible children.
Okay.
It's not about cutting them off entirely or refusing to help,
Right.
but rather about shifting the focus from handouts to education and empowerment.
Like that classic saying, teach a person to fish.
And you feed them for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about equipping your children with the knowledge, skills, and most importantly, the mindset to manage money effectively and build their own wealth.
I love how the book emphasizes leading by example. It's not enough to just lecture your kids about saving money if you're out there living a lavish lifestyle yourself.
Absolutely. Children are incredibly perceptive.
Yeah.
They pick up on your habits and attitudes even if you're not explicitly teaching them about money.
Right.
So modeling responsible financial behavior is crucial.
So walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Right.
Makes sense. But what about more concrete steps? Does the book offer any specific strategies for raising financially savvy kids?
It does.
Okay.
The authors recommend involving children in financial discussions and decisions from an early age.
Huh?
This could be as simple as explaining where the money for groceries comes from or having them help create a budget for a family vacation.
It's about making finances relatable and demystifying the whole process.
You know, instead of money being this taboo topic, it becomes something they're comfortable discussing and managing.
Exactly. And as they get older, you can give them more responsibility, like managing an allowance or even investing small amounts of money.
Okay.
The key is to make it a gradual process where they gain experience and confidence over time.
It's like an apprenticeship for financial independence. They learn by doing, and they get to experience both the rewards and the consequences of their financial choices.
And speaking of choices, another powerful suggestion in the book is to avoid revealing your wealth to your children.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're telling me these millionaires are keeping their wealth a secret from their own kids? Why on earth would they do that?
It's all about preserving their intrinsic motivation.
Okay.
If children grow up knowing they're heirs to a fortune, it could diminish their drive to achieve on their own.
Right.
They might become complacent, entitled, even reckless with their spending.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
It's like that saying, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations.
Right.
You build a fortune, your kids inherit it, and their kids squander it because they never learn the value of hard work and financial discipline.
Precisely. By keeping their wealth a secret.
Yeah.
These parents are creating an environment where their children are motivated by their own passions and ambitions, not by the promise of a big inheritance.
That's like they're leveling the playing field,
Yeah.
giving their kids the opportunity to forge their own path without the weight of expectations.
And the book provides a really compelling example of this.
Okay.
There's a story about a millionaire who managed to keep his wealth a secret from his children until after he passed away.
Wow.
His children had no idea they were wealthy, and as a result, they developed a strong work ethic and a sense of financial independence that ultimately led to their own success.
That's amazing. It's a testament to the power of focusing on values over material possessions. It's about teaching your kids to be resourceful, resilient, and self-reliant.
Absolutely. And the book goes even further,
Okay.
advising parents to be cautious about making their children the executors of their estates.
Okay.
It can create unnecessary conflict and pressure, especially if there are multiple siblings involved.
So instead of putting that burden on your children, it's better to appoint a neutral third party,
Right.
like an attorney or a financial advisor,
So
to handle those matters.
it's about prioritizing harmony and fairness in the distribution of your estate.
Okay.
And speaking of fairness,
Yeah.
the book also delves into the topic of giving wisely to charities and causes you care about.
Okay. This is something I'm personally interested in.
Yeah.
I've always believed in giving back,
Yeah.
but sometimes I feel overwhelmed by all the different charities and causes out there.
Right.
How do you decide where to donate your money and make sure it's actually making a difference?
That's a great question. And the book offers some valuable guidance.
Okay.
The author suggests approaching philanthropy with the same level of planning and intentionality that you apply to your investments.
So do your research.
Right.
Choose organizations that align with your values and make sure your donations are making a real impact. It's not just about writing a check. It's about being an informed and engaged philanthropist.
Exactly. And the authors caution donors to be wary of organizations that pressure them for donations or who spend excessively on administrative costs.
Right.
It's about ensuring your generosity is being used effectively to support the causes you believe in.
It's like being a savvy investor. But instead of financial returns, you're looking for social impact.
Yeah.
You want to see your donations making a tangible difference in the world.
And the book even touches on the importance of teaching your children about philanthropy
Oh, okay.
and involving them in your giving decisions.
Right.
It's about passing on a legacy of generosity and social responsibility.
It's about showing them that true wealth isn't just about accumulating money. It's about using it to make a positive difference in the world.
Exactly.
But before we get too carried away with philanthropy,
Yeah.
I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier,
Okay.
the entrepreneurial spirit that seems to drive so many millionaires. Because the book also delves into the entrepreneurial landscape, right?
It does. And what's fascinating is that it's not about specific industries where
Right.
millionaires tend to cluster.
Okay.
Instead, it emphasizes the mindset and skills that lead to success in any field.
It's that entrepreneurial spirit, that willingness to take calculated risks and persevere through challenges
Yeah.
that ultimately leads to financial success.
Exactly. They actually caution against simply chasing the hot industries because trends change, markets fluctuate, and success is never guaranteed.
So don't just jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
Find something you're passionate about, something you're good at, and be prepared to put in the hard work and dedication required to make it thrive. But before we get into all the nitty-gritty of starting a business,
Okay.
let's wrap up this deep dive by summarizing some of the key takeaways from The Millionaire Next Door. Because this book is packed with so much valuable information, it's easy to get lost in the details.
You're right. It's a dense read. But if we had to distill it down to a few core principles, I'd say that financial success, at least as defined by Stanley and Danko, boils down to living below your means.
Right.
Prioritizing long-term financial planning over immediate gratification.
Okay.
And having a disciplined approach to managing your money.
It's about being intentional with your spending, investing wisely, and not falling prey to the trap of keeping up with the Joneses.
And remember, being an entrepreneur isn't the only path to wealth.
Right.
There are plenty of millionaires who have achieved financial success in a variety of professions.
The key takeaway is that it's not about the specific job title.
Right.
It's about developing a wealth-building mindset and applying those principles to whatever you do. It's about being intentional, disciplined, and focused on your long-term goals.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes The Millionaire Next Door such a timeless and valuable read. It provides a blueprint for success that's applicable to anyone regardless of their background or profession.
It's a reminder that true wealth is within reach for anyone who's willing to embrace those principles of hard work, frugality, and smart financial decision-making.
And it challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about wealth and success.
Yeah.
It's not about keeping up with the Joneses or chasing the latest trends.
Right.
It's about building a life of financial security and fulfillment based on your own values and goals.
So what's the one final thought you want to leave our listeners with? Something that wasn't explicitly mentioned earlier, but that really encapsulates the essence of the Millionaire Next Door.
One of the most striking insights from the book is that many millionaires live in a constant state of relative deprivation.
Okay.
They're always looking for ways to save money, to get a good deal, even when they could easily afford to pay full price.
That mindset of abundance,
Yeah.
of always striving to get the best value that sets them apart.
Yeah.
They don't take their wealth for granted. They appreciate every dollar. And that appreciation fuels their continued success.
Exactly. And this mindset isn't about depriving yourself.
Right.
It's about being mindful, intentional, and finding joy in making smart choices.
It's about living below your means, not because you have to, but because you want to.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your spending with your values and focusing on experiences and investments that bring you true fulfillment.
And it's a reminder that true wealth is about freedom, the freedom to live life on your own terms, to pursue your passions, and to make a positive impact on the world.
Well said. If you're looking for a deep dive into the world of wealth and financial success, The Millionaire Next Door is a must-read.
Yeah.
It's packed with insights, anecdotes, and practical advice that can help you unlock your own financial potential.
Definitely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Yes.
And remember, true wealth is about more than just money. It's about living a life of purpose and fulfillment.